see if we can do this. Let's split the screen in two. It shouldn't take us long at all. Right. So the first 16. Actually, I'll split the screen later. Right, let's just take care of this. No, it looks like a lot, but it's not. It's really not. 2 to the 6, now the 6, there's no negatives to worry about, so it's just 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. 3 to the 8 power. My God, let's see. 3 times 3, let's see, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so that's a 9, that's a 9, that's a 9, that's a 9. This is 81 and this is 81, so it's probably easier to do 81 times 81, right? So 1, 81, 8, and then 64, so we have 116, 5, 6,561. So 6,561. So let me erase this. Us, right? Negative 10 to the 4th power. Now this is going to be a positive, right? Because it's going to be negative 10 multiplied by itself 4 times. It's 4 negatives, even number of negatives. So it's just that. Now this is completely different than number 1. This 6, the exponent 6, has no say on that negative. It's just so it's leave that negative sign over there, and then take care of 2 to the 6th power, which we already know is 64. So your answer ends up being negative 64. This is not negative 5 to the 2nd power, right? So again, I did something in class which I'm not a fan of, and if you want to rewrite this as negative 1 and then 5 to the 2nd power, I don't know if it helps. 5 to the 2nd power is 25, and then 25 times negative 1 is negative 25. Negative 1 to the 4th is just, again, it's going to be positive because it's an even number of negatives, so just 1. Okay, so here, before you multiply these two, let's write this in standard notation. 3 to the 3rd power is 27, so that's easy. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive, so it's 4 times 27, which you can then take it to the side, right, and say that's 108. 3 to the 4th times 5 to the 2nd, well, 5 to the 2nd is easy, that's 25. 3 to the 4th is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which is 81. And that you're going to obviously have to multiply on the side. So that's a 5, that's a 40, that's a 2, and that's a 16, so we get 2,025. Let me erase some of this. I'll put it on top. So 2 to the 2nd is 4. Negative 5 to 3 to the 3rd power is negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5. So I know it's negative, right? 5 times 5 is 25, and 25 times 5 is 1. So this is going to be negative 125. And obviously that's going to be 250, 500, negative 500, because that's a positive times a negative, which is a negative. Negative 2 to the 4th power, that's going to be positive, so that's 2, 4, 8, 16. 4 to the 2nd power is also 16. And 16 times 16 is 256, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Negative 2 to the 3rd power, that's going to be a negative, right? Because it's negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2, and that's going to give us negative 8. Now leave that in parentheses. 2 to the 3rd power is just 8. That's negative 64. Negative 5 to the 2nd power is negative 5 times negative 5 is 2 negatives being multiplied, so that gives us positive. Negative 3 to the 3rd power is 3 negatives being multiplied, so I know it's going to be negative. That's obviously 27. So now I know my product is going to be a positive, negative times a positive, which is a negative, and then we'll just simply do 27 times 25. 5 and 7, 35, carry 3. 13, and that's 54, 5, 7, 675, negative 675. 2/5 times 2/5 times 2/5. So again, remember what that looks like. numerator times numerator times numerator. So that's 8. And here 25 times 5, 128 over 125. This one is negative 7 over 8 times negative 7 over 8. So it's a negative times a negative. Right? So we know our product is going to be positive. And then 7 times 7 is 49 over 64. Negative a half times negative a half times negative a half times negative a half. So it's an even number of negatives being multiplied. So my answer is going to be positive. On the numerator, I get 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, which is just 1. And then 2, 4, 8, 16. 1 over 16 at the bottom. 2/3 raised to the 5th power. So it's 2/3 times 2/3 times 2/3 times 2/3. It's 5 times, right? So 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. On the top, we have number 2 being multiplied by itself 5 times. And at the bottom, we have 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So this is 9. This is 9. That's 81. And then 81 times 3 is 243. That's our final answer. All right, so that took us not too long ago, maybe 4 minutes. 17. I'll put it on the side. 34 plus 9 times 2. For the love of God, please do it in steps. My line 2 is going to look like 34 plus 18. And my second line is going to be 52. That's what you do, step by step, right? 18. 6 divided by 3 times 4 divided by 3 times 4 to the second power. The first thing I will do, I'm going to change 4 to the second power into standard notation. So I'm going to go 6 divided by 3 times 16. Now, left to right, going that direction, take care of these two. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And then multiply by 16, and my final answer is 32. This is what I would like to see. 19, 15 divided by 5 times 2 to the second power. Okay, 15 divided by 5 times 4. Change this standard notation. Now, division and multiplication, well, the order says do it from left to right, so division came first, so we get 3 times 4. 3 times 4 equals 12. 20. 9 squared plus 6 cubed. Change to standard notation is 81. 6 cubed is 6 times 6, which is 36, and then 36 times 6 is 36, carry 3, 18, 216. Now we can add those two. 216 plus 81, 7, 297. So that gives me 297. So here's my line. My calculations are here in the corner or in a scrap paper, right? So on a future assessment, that's the only thing I want to see. Remember, you won't have calculators for this. So 21, negative 5 minus 3, parentheses, 7 minus 3 times 8. No reason to hurry here. Negative 5 does nothing, negative 3 does nothing, and inside the parentheses I have to take care of that. So it's 7 minus, and then let's take care of these two. That gives me 24. Negative 5 minus 3. If you want to put a multiplication sign so you don't forget that it's being multiplied. 7 minus 24. If you want to change that to addition, be my guest. Let's give us negative 17. Okay. Negative 5. And then here is what you have to, something that we haven't talked about and I'll talk about tomorrow. Negative 5. Now, this, when you're multiplying, don't think of this as 3 times negative 17. Think of it as negative 3 times negative 17. So it's a negative times a negative, which gives me a positive. 3 times 7 is 51. And my final answer is positive 46, which honestly I didn't really need to do this. Right, so this part here I'll talk more about tomorrow. Okay. Negative 4 to the second power minus negative 4 times negative 6 times negative 3. Okay. Negative 4 to the second power, let's change that. That becomes 16. And this is 3 numbers being multiplied, and there's 3 negatives. So I know my answer is going to be negative, first of all. 4 times 6 is 24. 24 times 3 is 72. No, 12, yes, 72. And that's what I end up having. Those of you who want to change this problem to an addition, you would change it to this. See if it's easier for you to see it. That's okay. So I know my answer is going to be negative because the absolute value of negative 72 is greater. So I'm going to subtract these two numbers. 12 and 6 is 6, 6 and 1. So it's negative 56. Okay. So again, this is what I'd like to see, right? This right here. 23, 3 minus 8 minus 7 minus 6 times 4, parentheses, close bracket. So again, 3 does nothing, the 8 does nothing, subtract does nothing, and let's take care of the parentheses. So inside the parentheses we have two things going on. Well, and I'm going to do it one by step. 7 minus 6 times 4, 24. Okay. 3 does nothing, minus, bracket, 8 does nothing. And then inside the parentheses I have 7 minus 24, which, if you do your calculations, you end up getting negative 17. Right? So now inside the brackets, you have 8 minus negative 17, which is the same thing as 8 plus 17, which gives us 25. And the last thing we have now is 3 minus 25, which is negative 22. Okay. 24, absolute value, 4 squared minus 8, minus negative 2 to the third power. So let's take care of the parentheses. Sorry, the parentheses, the exponents. 4 to the second power is 16, minus 8, close, minus, and then negative 2 to the third power is negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2, which is going to give us negative 8. There. Second line after that, I can do 16 minus 8. I'm still not taking the absolute value. Yeah, I mean, you can. I mean, right? But so 16 minus 8 is 8. And then I still have not taken the absolute value. Now, and again, you could have. I just didn't. Absolute value of 8 is 8, right? And then minus negative 8. And obviously that will give us 16. Where am I? 25? Okay. Negative 2 plus 1, third power, minus 3. 2 minus 3, second power, minus 3. All right, so we have a few things to take care of. This, and then raise to the third power, and then take this, raise to the second power. So negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1 to the third power. Minus 3, and 2 minus 3 is negative 1. I'm going to raise that to the second power, and then minus 3. I gotta change the exponents. So negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 is just negative 1. That's what I get here. Minus 3, and don't multiply yet, because we got to figure out what negative 1 to the second power is. It's negative 1 to the second power is negative 1 times negative 1, which is 1. And then minus 3. All right, so negative, now we have order of operations, right? We still have a multiplication. So before you start subtracting anything, we got to take care of that. So we got negative 1, and then 3 times 1 is just 3. Now I can subtract. Negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4, and then negative 4 minus 3 gives me negative 7. 26, we have 5 times 3 minus 5, close, minus negative 1. Right. So notice that the numbers are not that great, right? It's just you getting used to the operations and the negatives. That's what the purpose of this is. So again, see, 5 times, well, let's not multiply yet. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. And again, guys, I am taking this really slow. Negative 1 to the third power is just negative 1. And now, those of you who wanted to write here, 3 minus 5 is negative 2, and negative 2 to the second power is 4. So you could have automatically written 4 here. I just didn't. I'll write it now. 5 times negative 2 to the second power is 4. Minus negative 1. And again, you could have written 20. So 5 times 4 is 20. And 20 minus negative 1, if those of you who change this to addition, is the same thing as 20 plus 1, which equals 21. So choice, right? I just doing steps. 27. 6 parentheses negative 8 plus 10, 2 minus 5, 4 minus 7 minus 39. It's really just order of operations. There's a multiplication sign here. There's a multiplication sign here. So 6 and 5 don't do anything to it yet. So let's do this. 6 times negative 8 plus 10 is 2. And then 2 to the second power is 4. So I'm going to leave that at 4. And I can leave it in parentheses just because it's positive. Doesn't mean I can't use parentheses. Minus 5 times, what's 4 minus 7? Negative 3. And then minus 39. All right, order of operations. I'm going to take care of this, which is 24. Now, this is, I know it says minus 5 times negative 3, but if you think about it, it's actually negative 5 times negative 3, which is going to give us positive 15. Minus 39. 24 plus 15 is 39, and then 39 minus 39, this looks like a big 0. I have no idea which one I just did. Oh yeah, 28, 3 squared minus 4 squared plus 3 minus 4 to the second power. Okay, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, plus, let's see, negative 1 to the second power, right? Now I'm gonna, so again, copy, and then negative 1 to the second power is just 1, right? 1 positive. 9 minus 16 is negative 7, so again, we can write that like this, and then plus 1, final answer, negative 6. What was that? 29. All right, so we have a few more. 5 minus 2 to the second power plus 3 to the second, 3 to the second power minus 8 times 7. That's absolute value, right? So 5 minus, let's change a few things. 2 to the second power is 4, 3 to the second power is 9, and then 8 times 7, 56. So let's just simplify a little bit. 5 minus absolute value, well, let's calculate. 4 and 9 is 13, right? Minus 56. You can go ahead and do 13 minus 56. So 5 minus, and then 13 minus 56, well, it's going to be 43, negative 43. Now that everything in the absolute value brackets have been simplified to one single number, I can now take the absolute value. What's the absolute value of negative 43? It's 43. So that becomes 5 minus the absolute value of negative 43. It's positive 43. Final answer, 5 minus 43 is negative 38. There's a, and then I'll mention that in a second. 3 squared plus 4 squared times negative 1 to the first power. Close. So now, notice that there's a minus sign here. If it makes you happy, put a 1. Negative 1 times whatever the absolute value of all that. Right, so you're going to simplify that to a single number, take the absolute value, and then multiply. And then here, I'll put a multiply sign. Multiplication sign, multiply that by negative 1. So I, although this doesn't have a 1 there, I'm just going to, maybe helps some of you guys see that you have to multiply. Now put a dot. Let's do a few things here. It's 2 minus 9 plus 16 times a negative 1 to the fourth power is just 1, positive 1. So again, negative 1 times, right? Well, 16 times 1 is 16, so that we're okay with that. 2 minus 9 is negative 7, and then negative 7 plus 16 is 9. So all that becomes 9. Again, now I take the absolute value. It's negative 1 times. The absolute value of 9 is just 9. And that's what I'm finally doing. So my final answer is negative 9. Negative 21 is this absolute value. Is it 5 minus 3 times 8, close absolute value, plus 9, parentheses, 11 minus 5, close, take the absolute value, and close parentheses around. So let me change some colors here. So that's absolute value, and there's another absolute value here. All right, so let's do what we can. Negative 21 is going to be multiplying whatever I get inside. And, all right, so in the absolute value symbol, we have 15 minus 3 times 8. Well, 3 times 8 is 24, so I'm going to put a little 24 there. And then is it 5? No, 5 minus 24. Right? 3 times 8 is 24. 5 minus 24 is 19. It's actually absolute value of negative 19. No, I'm not going to take the absolute value. I could have, but I'm not. Plus absolute value 9 times whatever 11 minus 9 times the difference between 11 minus 5, which is 6. 11 minus 5 is 6. There, that's what we have here. All right, negative 21. Absolute value of negative 19 is 19. Plus absolute value of negative 9 times 6. 9 times 6 is 54. Absolute value of 54 is just 54. There we go. Negative 21. 19 plus 54 is 373. And we got to multiply negative 21 times 73. So 73 times 21, 73, 6, 14. Looks like negative 1533. Please let me know if I make mistakes. I'm pretty sure I made one or two. That's 31. No, yeah, let's do 32. Negative 4 times 8 minus the absolute value of negative 5, 3 plus 6, minus 3 to the second power. So the importance of being super neat here, it comes into play, especially with the longer expressions. I can do this multiplication, right? 4 times 8. I can do that. I can change the 3 to the second power, and I can multiply add 3 plus 6. So let's do that. It won't. All right, so I can do more than one step at the same time. So these two, I get negative 32 multiplied minus the absolute value of negative 5 and 3 plus 6, which is 9, positive, and then minus 3 to the second power, which is 9. Negative 32 minus, well, what's negative 5 times 9? Negative 5 times 9 is negative 45. Take the absolute value of negative 45, you get just 45. And then minus 9. So now it becomes a simple subtraction problem. Negative 32 minus 45 is negative 77 minus 9, and negative 77 minus 9 is negative 86. Okay, so negative 2. I love this. I mean, I'm not going to say love, but I like how they really just use very simple numbers and just use them for you to practice order of operations, right? So it's not about the magnitude of the numbers, but it's about you knowing how to really use order of operations. All right, let's simplify things a little bit. Negative 2 to the second power is just 4. Minus 3 to the second power, which is just 9, divided by. That says take the absolute value and then raise it to the second power. So 1 minus 4 is negative 3. Negative 3, take the absolute value of negative 3, which is 3, and 3 to the second power, which is 9. Times 2, minus 6, plus 2 to the second power, which is 4. Right, lot more simpler. Order of operations, we got to take care of the division and then multiplication. So we get 4 minus, and think about this, 9 divided by 9 is 9. Sorry, 9 divided by 9 is 1, and 1 times 2 is just 2. So these three things here becomes just 2. Then minus 6 plus 4. 4 minus 6 is 2. 2 minus negative 6 is negative 4. Negative 4 plus 4 is another 0. $34. Careful here. Right off the bat, I see a problem. 7 minus 5 times 3 divided by 2 times 3 to the second power. So let's simplify what we can here. So careful, that 2 is not telling It's not negative 6 to the second power, it's just 6 to the second power. So again, this becomes, here's my minus sign, 6 to the second power is 36. So that's what you should have. Take the absolute value of, well, in here we have 7 minus 5 times 3. So we know we have to multiply 5 and 3 first. That becomes 15. So we actually have 7 minus 15 inside the absolute value symbol, which is negative 8, right? 7 minus 15 is negative 8. Then minus 6 divided by 2 times 3 to the second power is 9. That's negative 36 minus, what's the absolute value of negative 8, which is 8. And then over here, I'm going to take care of these. It's 6 divided by 2 times 9. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So 6 divided by 2 is 3 times 9 is 27. And that's what I end up having. Negative 36 minus 8. If you want to do this piece by piece, we get negative 44 minus 27. We get a total of negative 71. 7, parentheses, negative 18 plus 16, minus 3 times 6 minus 7 to the third power, minus 3 times 9. 7, let me change colors. Negative 18 plus 16 is negative 2. Minus 3, let's see what we get here. 6 minus 7 is negative 1. And negative 1 to the third power is negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1, which gives me negative 1. Minus, and then 3 times 9, which is 27. Now there's a multiplication here, there's a multiplication here, and a subtraction. 7 times negative 2, negative 14. This is negative 3 times negative 1, which is going to give me plus 3 minus 27. Negative 14 and 3 is negative 11 minus 27. And this is just going to give me negative 838. Okay. Which one did I just do? 7. Okay, one more. Three times 5 to the second power minus 2 times 37. Oh, they use a big number. To the fourth power minus, parentheses, 7 times negative 2 minus 5 times 3 to the second power. Oh, I wonder why they use 37. All right, let's simplify what we can. First of all, it's 3 times 25, okay, minus, and I'll do 2 times 37. I can do that without changing anything. So 2 times 37 is 74. The fourth power. Minus, and then here we have 7 times negative 2 and then 5 times 3. Well, 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. And minus 5 times 3, which is 15. Raised to the second power. Just checking to see if I copied this correctly. 7 times 2 is negative 14. 5 times 3 is 20. So 3 times 25, right, is 75 minus 74 to the fourth power. That's going to be easy to do. And this is going to be negative 29 to the second power. 75 minus 74 is 1, right? And then we're going to take that to the fourth power. Minus, and negative 29 times, minus negative 29 to the second power, which is 29 times 29. 1, 8, 18 plus 8 is 6, 26, and then this is 58. 114, 8, 849. Well, 1 to the fourth power is just 1. Minus 841 is going to give us negative 840. Okay, so that wasn't that bad. Again, just really practice this order of operation.